Yeah, it was good to get our defense back on track. That's something that we've been talking about. We played two really good offenses the 2 weeks before that, and needed those guys to feel good about playing well. So that was a good tough win. A lot of things we got to clean up. All right, and we're going to get to work on that tomorrow. But the name of the game here in conference games, you got to find a way to win, and our kids did. We kind of had to grind it out the whole game. We were in control, but certainly had to grind it out. So it was good to win that way.
You just have to be extra patient. Did y'all at halftime say, okay, guys, it's not that you weren't throwing the ball well, because you were, and you were running it pretty well, that we got to control the clock? Or was there a definite decision like, this is the way, what we have to do?
Yeah, a little bit. In the first half on defense, I think, we gave up a couple of drives and a couple of big plays. And, when we got here, I felt like our defense could play really well and really effectively, but I felt like we did need to eat some clock. And we still took a couple shots, had a couple chances to get it. I think the big thing offensively is we got to score touchdowns down in the red area. But we did get points, and it kept us out in front. But offensively, as a staff, we just kind of said, listen, these runs that we have are good. We need to keep doing it. We need to keep eating clock. And the whole fourth quarter, it was just about keeping a 2-possession lead. And that was really all that we cared about, was moving the ball, keeping a 2-possession lead. And that was the name of the game.
What was Southern Miss doing on defense that gave you maybe a little more trouble than you thought?
I think their guys up front play a little better than maybe what I thought they had on tape. They did a good job with their games in the run games. And I don't think we did an overly good job fitting on the linebackers at the second level. Something we've done a really good job of. We were getting there, falling off, and their kids played, downhill and did a good job there. So they pressure a little bit more than they had, which I figured they would. Coming out of a bye week, I thought that would probably be something they would do. We had answers for it. We just, at times, they were tearing off a little bit late, and we couldn't really get clean, like we had the last couple of weeks. And that's part of it. Sometimes that's just the way the game goes, and we're gonna have to work on that and straining and finishing a little bit better this week, and we will.
Talk about the job Draylon Washington did. He hadn't really played a huge role. I thought he ran extra hard. He led y'all in rushing, got some big tough yards. Like he kind of said, "Don't forget me tonight."
Oh, it's never a thing about forget anybody. I know that's not what you mean. It's never that type of thing. It's just it's the nature of sports, in general. He was out for a little while, and those guys stepped in and played really, really well. Just because you come back kind of doesn't mean that, you're right back in it. And through it all, the guy never missed a beat, never complained, never pouted. He worked every day. Tonight, he got some big carries for us, some really good runs, and it was good to get him back to form. And, sometimes that's what it takes to get yourself back in the mix a little bit. We got 3 guys carrying the ball well. Tonight, he was a hot hand, so that's why we roll with him.
Was it hard to kick field goal?
Yes.
Or did you tell yourself this is what we needed to do?
Yes, it was hard, but I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I've done in the past. And last year I had a couple opportunities to kick field goals, and I did not, and we ended up playing in overtime. So, I tell our guys to learn from the past, and I tell our guys to, don't let mistakes repeat themselves. It's fine as long as you learn from it. So, tonight it was about winning the game. And that was all that we cared about. And, to me, I couldn't screw that up for our team, who deserved to win. We just need to put points on the board, and we operated well, and Kenny did a good job.
Y'all all said, players, coaches, coordinators, that when you started getting sacks, they would come. And really, I thought that was one of the big differences in the game tonight, the pressure y'all put on the quarterback.
Yeah, you're darn right it was. I mean, he was throwing the ball pretty good early before we put the pressure on him. They were making plays in the throw game. And, when we started getting some pressure on him, started getting some sacks, I mean, it affects you. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, it's not a knock against him. I thought their kid played really good. It's just hard to play quarterback when you got people in your lap all the time. We're able to get a turnover, and it was this win was good for our defense, man. Like, they needed to feel good about it again, and that was a good performance by them.
What about Kenny? Is, we take it for granted, but he's been a money.
Yeah, I mean, specialists are kind of like that, and I think specialists have a really hard job because, their day is really good when no one talks about them. That's a tough life to live. It's a little bit under the radar, and it's kind of little bit of a thankless job. But if we don't, snap, hold, kick, execute really well, well, that game's totally different. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for him. Unfortunately, sometimes you do kind of take it for granted, but for us, that was the difference tonight.
All right, any questions from Zoom media?
Coach, how huge is it for you guys to get this win over Southern Miss after just the long history of losing?
Guess it is what it is, huh? Well, I think the thing that we talked about was it's a new series starting now. And, you certainly can't change the things that have happened in the past, but we do take pride in our history. And it's not always pretty, it's not always good, but we want to play in a way that represents not just this team and this locker room, but everyone who's ever worn a UL jersey, everyone who's ever been a UL fan. We want to represent them the right way. And so for our kids, I love that about our group, is that it matters to them to play for UL. And, tonight was all about, let's start this series all over again. Right. And we control the rest of them. So I think it's good. When you have a history like that, man, at some point you just gotta break it. And tonight, we were able to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.